Was listening to the Brian Kelly press conference today, and first of all, you can be thankful you don't have to do 35-minute press conferences like he does with
That's true.
an entire auditorium of reporters. But
I like just you and I, Wags.
yeah, this is much more intimate. But he was very complimentary of Navy and talked about the toughness, the discipline, and how well coached you are. And this wasn't Lou Holtz trying to make a 1-9 Navy team sound like he was Oklahoma. This was sincere, and he's lost to Navy twice in his tenure. Does that make you feel good when a coach of a top 10 program, a coach of his caliber, is praising the program that you run?
Well, definitely have a ton of respect for them. Coach Kelly is one of the best coaches in the country, and so for him to say that, obviously, we have great respect for them and and for their program.
Right. They've made some changes since last year. I mean, he did some soul searching after a subpar season for Notre Dame and changed some coaching and whatnot. So is it make things different for you, or is it still Notre Dame and it being that he's the head coach, a lot is the same, or do you have to really look and say, hey, there's a new coaching staff in many respects?
Well, it's the same. I mean, you go and look at their tapes from this year. You try to do your research on the guys that they have. Elko, the defensive coordinator. They played Army all those
right when he
years.
was at Wake Forest. I was going to ask you about
so
that.
we got all of that on tape. So we've been able to study some of his ideas and what he did every year. And it was cool for us to watch because chronologically we kind of saw his thoughts and how he kind of had some subtle changes. So
right.
We don't know if we're going to do that. We imagine that's going to be his deal. He did it every year against
right. But he may decide that Navy's different because it's not really the exact same offense. He may decide that he wants to defend Navy differently. Who knows?
So we'll prepare for what we saw on tape. If they have something different, so we'll have some ideas. The hard part for us sometimes in the conference, like when you get new coaches, you have no idea what they're doing. Like we didn't know what Temple was going to do, that they're going to add the 50, which they had a week extra. So we prepared for the Army stuff. UCF, we didn't know what they were going to do, so you kind of guess. Fortunately, Elko has he has a little history against option.
Right.
So obviously it helps them because he has some ideas what to do, but hopefully it helps us too because we know how they're going to line up.
Right. Obviously, I think they're going to run the ball. They've done it all year. They've got a great tailback, an incredible offensive line loaded with pros. In a way, though, this is kind of something you guys like. You're a tough, hard-nosed team. I think Navy likes to line up and play the run. I mean, would you agree with that or no?
Well, everybody knows to run the ball, and they're running the ball more this year. And you got Josh Adams. You also got Winbush. You know how good they are. Nobody's been able to stop them. They kind of fell behind a little bit last
when
week.
You have 3 or 4 NFL offensive linemen.
And they've always been physical. And so everybody knows they're going to run the ball. They've still been able to rush for 300 yards a game. So,
right.
It's no secret. Every week you try to stop the run. Every defense starts with stop the run.
Right.
And every team in the country will say that, but that's easier said than done with these guys.
Right. Adam Mimosa, and I don't know how he pronounces that other name, Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Right. Well, that's good. Did you recruit his brother?
We did.
Okay, because he's at Notre Dame. He's a backup linebacker. I imagine he was pretty good.
Yeah, we did, and he came on a visit.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided to go to Notre Dame, and he's doing well. He's a really good football player, and so,
But I figured you did. You knew all about him.
We did.
Right.
He came in on a visit.
The injury report. Jackson Pittman did not go against SMU. Do you think he'll be able to?
He's back. He's back full go. He's been practicing all week.
Not a minute too soon. How did you feel his reserve did, Tolentino?
Actually, I thought Dave did well. Really pleased with David. Coach liked how he did, and I thought Dave did, represented himself well. I was really excited about him.
Hudson Sullivan still down?
Down. He'll probably be back next week.
Okay.
So we're encouraged by. We thought at first it was going to be a Daniel Gonzalez injury and, out, but they're, optimistic about coming back for Houston.
Right. Anybody else? Or, we know about Malcolm is questionable, and is that pretty much it? And any other lingering injuries?
Guys that are playing, that's
about it. Right. And so Coach Belichick was here last week. It's always cool. He has a great connection with Navy, and I think that's a neat thing. Was it cool to catch up with him?
Yeah, his daughter coaches lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
So he has his mother here. He's from here, so he's we're able to catch him. Obviously such a busy man. His wisdom is invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to listen to the greatest football coach of all time, I mean, you're all ears, man.
Right, I hope the players are too.
All ears, and you try to listen and learn from the guy. And it was a great experience for our kids.
Do you ever get a chance to just sit up in your office and talk to him one-on-one?
Yeah, we talked before.
Is that
we had
kind of a really neat thing to be able to? I mean, that's.
We were able to go, see them at, at the Patriots practice facility, and we had unparalleled access to everything. And he and the staff were just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. They gave us everything. It's kind of interesting because we knew some coaches that kind of went at another time, and they're kind of like, we kind of told them some of the things they did. Like, hey, how did you guys get over there?
Right, we didn't do that, right?
But obviously,
he's been very gracious.
Very gracious. He loves the school. He loves the Naval Academy. He loves Annapolis. He's from here. Everything started here, obviously, with his dad and him learning football here. So it's kind of cool to see a guy that's reached the pinnacle of all pinnacles, but he hasn't forgotten where he's from, and he gives back. He gives back to Annapolis High School, and I'm sure all other places, but it's really cool that he gives back to Naval Academy.
All right, you feel ready?
Not yet. Hopefully, keep working.
All right, thank you. Well, I think obviously a lot of people were impressed that you could make the transition from playing slot back all year to quarterback in less than a week of practice. Talk about the challenge and how you did it.
I got a great coach, Coach Jasper. He got me ready real quick. Made sure I knew everything. Made sure I had all the tools I needed to be ready to play on Saturday. Had great support from Zach and Garret, so that helped a lot. And my prior experience playing quarterback in the spring and last year helped a lot too, so it wasn't that bad.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you had done it and you had practiced in the system. Did it come back pretty quickly? Is it like riding a bike, like they say? I mean, did you kind of – because the slot back and quarterback are different, but in a lot of ways you have to know the offense at both spots.
Right. It's kind of like riding a bike. You get rusty. You got to come back, work on your footwork, work on, worrying about different things, making sure everybody knows what they're doing. So you're kind of the brains of the offense at quarterback, and at A-back you have to know everything. So it was pretty easy transitioning.
So we didn't get a chance to talk to you after Saturday's game. What did you think? With 282 yards rushing, it's American Athletic Conference record. I mean, what did you feel about your performance?
I wasn't too happy with my performance.
What? Come on.
I had a couple good runs. I made a couple good plays, but made a couple bad reads, which I was.
Yeah, they told me they had some boo-boos.
Right. A couple bad reads. And all you can do is learn from it. So that's what I want to do.
You try not to throw that pass. It looked like you were pulling it back.
That was another thing I need to work on. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we don't know where this is going to go. It sounds like you'll probably be a quarterback slot back, which is not uncommon. Tago was kind of that. Coach Jasper played quarterback and slot back in Hawaii in his day. Is that something you're cool with? Just kind of maybe a flip flop?
Wherever I'm at, wherever I can help the team get some wins, that's where I want to be. So wherever they put me, wherever they see fit, I'll be happy with. So.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Well, just wanted to catch up with you about the offensive line. I got home on Friday and watched the tape of the Temple game, and I will say that I've seen the Navy offensive line play better. A lot of missed block, just didn't come off. What was your take on Temple?
Didn't play well enough. I don't think it's pretty obvious. Couldn't move the ball inside. We couldn't run the football, and they played well, but we just didn't play to the standard we needed to play to beat a team like that. That's, obviously pretty good defensively. So we just didn't play well enough.
Were you surprised by the 50 front? I know you worked against the 8-man, but this line knows how to play a 50, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're really never surprised by anything. So lined up at 50, it was a 50. We just didn't block them very well. So right. I don't think it was a surprise or anything like that.
Right. Now fast forward to this past week, and Anthony Gargiulo, I interviewed him yesterday, and he said he had never seen such big holes. It was almost like practice when you're going against a scout team. So I imagine last week's effort was more pleasing to you?
Yeah, we played better. I think Anthony may have exaggerated a little bit.
Right.
Maybe I didn't see it that way. But, no, I think we played better. Obviously, we ran for a lot of yards. So we did some good things. But, I don't know, maybe we're our worst own critics. So there's still some things we could do better. But I think overall the guys have played hard. We've played more guys this year than we have in the past.
That was going to be my next question.
Some of it because of injury. We had some injuries and things like that. So we've had to just kind of keep rolling guys through. But I think, we're still a work in progress. I still don't think we've played our best football, hopefully. We're still out here trying to get better every time we go out.
I saw Rayford more on Saturday than I had seen in a while. Would that be accurate to see that he got more reps than he had been getting?
Right. He did. Andrew Wood got injured in the game. Ford Higgins did not play in the game because he was injured. So we did have to play Mike some, and he did well.
Right.
We need to continue to play him and continue to develop him. I know he's an older guy, but he's still, basically new to the offensive line.
He's still learning it. Right?
Yeah, he is. And so he did a good job, though.
All right. Do you feel Wood and Higgins will be okay this week?
Yes, they both practiced today, and they both look fine, so I would anticipate they'd both be able to go.
Another guy I saw a little bit more was Barrett, the big boy.
Yeah, we finally played him,
and
he did really well. And, looking back at it, I wish I'd have played him a little more.
Right.
He did well.
He's a big body. I mean, Barrett goes like 330. I don't know if he is these days, but that's what he's listed as.
Yeah, he's a big kid, somewhere in that ballpark. And I've said it all along, he has continued to develop. He has a chance to be a really good football player for us. Obviously, he's coming back next year. I think if he will work this offseason and continue to work throughout this season, he'll play more. But I think he has a chance to be one of our better centers since we've been here.
Forney's playing a good amount?
Yeah, Forney played as much as anybody probably at guard other than Evan last week. We had to kind of move Robert Lindsay out to tackle some with all the injuries.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Right. But David Forney's playing well, and another young guy that's
another big boy. Yeah.
Big boy, but it's athletic, and I think he's got a very bright future if he'll continue to work hard.
Right. What's going on with Hawk? I mean, I know he didn't play well against Memphis. He got benched. He didn't start the next week against Central Florida. Last week, I saw him coming in and out a lot. And at one point, the cameras caught Coach Niumatalolo giving him an earful.
Right.
What's going on with Jake? Because I thought he was kind of past that at this point.
I think it's it's a good thing that we've got more guys that can play. So there's been times in the past when a guy would mess up and we just go, okay, he's still the best we have.
Right.
So we're to the point where if a guy messes up, we can pull him out, talk to him about it, because we can put another guy in there that can go and execute what we're asking him to do. So we have more depth. We're still none of us where we need to be, but he's doing a good job. It's a work in progress like everybody else, and he plays hard. He knows what to do. Not that he didn't make mistakes, but we finally have some depth where we can use playing time to hold people accountable. Right. So I think it's a good thing.